Hey everyone, welcome back to the Redlands Rundown, the official podcast of Redlands Community College, where we are committed to helping our students find success in the classroom, with their careers, and everything in between. Today, we're going to take a closer look into our ag department and all the different opportunities and teams that we have there. And today, we have a very special guest with us, my husband, Spencer Scotten. I'll let you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do here at Redlands.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks, Macey. Thanks for having me on. Love the show and excited to be on it and get to highlight our ag department. So, like Macey said, my name's Spencer Scotten. I originally am from Missouri and came down here. It's been several years, but I got hired on in 2019. So this is year 7 for me. So I am the livestock judging team coach and instructs a few classes, and then also am the competitive teams coordinator here within our ag department. So got a few different jobs. Probably the main one that takes up most of my time is the livestock judging team. I judged in college and then coached collegiately while I was working on a master's, and then went back home for a little bit. And then Brandon Callis, who was the coach, livestock judging coach here before me, was getting ready to hang it up, and he was going to transition to full-time faculty and called me and wondered if I wanted to come down here. And so the rest is history.
Yeah, awesome. And for those of you that don't know about Spencer's background, he judged junior college and senior college, and something that we both kind of have in common is neither of us had a lot of experience in high school judging. And so once we got to college, that was kind of our first really intense experience. And so I think that's just a testament that you can still be competitive even if you are not judging super actively and competitively in high school. Anyways, I just like to mention that.
Yeah, absolutely. And to kind of build off that, we have students that come in with a wide variety of experience levels. Some of them that have judged at every single national contest through high school, and then some of them, their first set of reasons and the first contest that they go to is here as a collegiate contestant. And so we've had awesome luck with both. We've had both of those kinds of backgrounds end up as All-Americans and great contributors to our team. So yeah, it doesn't matter where you start. You can pick it up pretty quick if you want to be good.
Yeah. So since we've started talking about that a little bit, I want to talk for our listeners who might not know about the livestock judging program. Can you explain a little bit of what that looks like, what livestock judging entails?
Yeah, so our livestock judging program is our biggest competitive team within our ag department. So what it looks like, we will go around to a lot of different fairs and a lot of different livestock expos that they host collegiate contests. And what that looks like is we generally will have 12 classes that are put in front of us to judge, and there will be 4 animals per class. And so our students will go in and place those classes and then see how that lines up to an official committee of industry experts that they have at each one of those contests. And so each class is worth 50 points. And then we also give 8 sets of reasons on 8 of the 12 of those classes. And those students will prepare a set of reasons explaining why they did what they did, and go in and tell that to one of those official judges, and they will get scored out of 50 on that. And so each contestant has a team score, or has a individual score of 1,000 points total. And that makes, most of the time, our team score, there's usually 5 members per team. And that makes our team score worth 5,000 total. And so we just see if we can score the most out of 5,000, and hopefully more than the rest of the teams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you've hinted to it a little bit, some of the skills that the students get. Obviously, they're learning more about livestock, but can you touch a little bit on some of the skills that really help those students long-term because of their experience?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the livestock component is a big part of it, and hopefully the students that come here, that most of them are going to have a lot of livestock background, and hopefully we build on that and they continue to learn more about livestock of probably more species than they're familiar with background. And so obviously you're going to get a little more in-depth on the livestock side of things, but also I don't know of a career that you can go into that doesn't have benefit of making a decision, being able to stand behind it, the ability to speak in public and have those students go out and, be able to present, if they're in sales or in research or, a wide variety of career paths that these students can go down, I don't think there's any one career that wouldn't benefit from livestock judging. And we see a lot of our students, I would say the majority of them will end up staying in the ag industry. But there's a lot of our students that, branch out and they'll go into other industries.
And another aspect I think that opens some doors for opportunity with our students is we travel to practice and go to contests. And so there's a lot of networking opportunities for our judges to connect with different producers and industry professionals. So sometimes I feel like that can open employment opportunities, or if they want to start, raising their own livestock, and they might have met so-and-so on a judging trip and go back to purchase something to start their own operation. So
Yeah,
it's
without a doubt.
it's fun to see that kind of come full circle whenever it does.
Yeah, and even you're talking about the networking, I always say that's the most awesome thing that a student can experience with the 2-year programs, the 2-year judging programs, and then going on to the university level. We're going to have students from all across the country attend our program. And so I haven't counted it up this year, but most years we're over 20 states represented from coast to coast here at Redlands, and the same with a lot of other collegiate programs. And so just the network that you make of other students and producers that you meet along the way, there isn't anywhere in the country that you can go that you don't have somebody that's part of the same network kind of brotherhood that you get to experience and be a part of.
Yeah. So awesome. I'm glad that we've highlighted the judging team. For those of our listeners that don't know, we actually have several competitive teams in our ag department here at Redlands. And so livestock judging is just one of the teams. I want to talk about some of our other competitive teams that we also have. So first thing I want to talk about is our beef show team. Can you explain to our listeners what our beef show team is?
Yeah, for sure. So whenever I came on, that freed up Callis. He got the beef show team fired back up again. He kind of sat dormant for a few years. And so whenever I came on, that freed up him to expand that just a little bit more. So our beef show team will have around 15 to 20 students that participate in that. Typically, they exhibit and show and work on the Redlands cattle. And every year they'll buy a few new heifers that they'll take out to different open shows throughout the year. And then also they will AI a lot of our better ones. And then they will break those and exhibit our cattle. So it's been a great opportunity for students that want to stay involved in showing cattle and livestock. There's been, several of them that don't come from a cattle background that came to be on our beef show team that have had an awesome experience. And so that's just another thing within our department that's really grown our department since I've been here. And it's been a great recruiting tool and a great experience for those students as well.
And so our other team that we have, in addition to the beef show team, is our shooting sports team. And we actually just brought on a new faculty or staff out at the ag department. So you know him better than I do. So I'll let you talk about shooting sports, and you enjoy that more than I do.
You bet. So I'll touch a little bit about that. Oh, I forgot to mention Meredith Behrens is our beef show team coach now. So she was a student here that participated in that program and then went to OSU and graduated. And then now she's back. Her and her brother went here to Redlands. And so a lot of the social media posts with our team pictures and judging camp, Griffin's done, and Meredith is back now full time with us, and she does an awesome job with that. So I forgot to mention that she's in charge of that now. But yeah, we'll move on to our shooting sports program, which is relatively new for us here at Redlands. That's our newest team within our ag department. We just hired on Braden Bliss, who is our new shooting sports coach, and he went to college in Nebraska and was very competitive on a team where he went there. And so we're excited to get that going. And one of the largest activities especially in the state of Oklahoma for high school contestants. And we have the Oklahoma Trap and Skeet Association, the headquarters here in El Reno. And a lot of times we'll have host shoots, high school shoots, the shoot at OYE, the trap shoot. They'll have close to 1,000 students that are a part of that. And so that's been a huge growth across the state of Oklahoma and across the country. And so we're excited to have a team and go out and showcase our students on that front as well. So, yeah, Braden, he's going to hit the ground running. He just got here this semester full time, and so we're excited. We're excited about that as well. Our ag program, with the inclusion of all of our competitive teams, we've seen great growth over the few years. So that's really been exciting for our program.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see the continued growth. And you mentioned on the livestock judging team, but even on the beef show team and shooting sports, that's a great recruitment for even out-of-state students to come to us and join our team and bring their experiences over to Redlands. So cool. Awesome. So I like that there's a lot of different areas where people can get involved just depending on maybe what they did in high school, or even if they didn't do something in high school, there's still a lot of opportunities for them to join a team. There's a few other things that our students can do to get involved. And so the first thing I want to talk about is our show goat herd. And I know Derek Pearson kind of runs and manages all of our show goats, but that's another opportunity for our students to get involved and learn a little bit more about that industry. So can you tell us a little bit about what the goals are of our show goat herd here at Redlands, and just kind of how students help out with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll speak on that. And there's, as we go through a lot of these talking points and a lot of things that are going on in our ag department, there's a lot going on and there's a lot to be involved in. And so we use a lot of our livestock for our classes and different labs that we've got. We've got a goat herd, obviously, that Macey touched on, and then we've got right around 50 head of cattle as well. And so with the beef show team and then with our animal science and repro labs, we'll always do different labs and have a lot of hands-on experience for our students. And that's where we get a lot of good ag students that maybe aren't interested in being on a competitive team. But our goat program is another one of those that's really fast growing. Whenever I got here, Sam Noose was actually in charge of that, and can't say enough about him and what he did for our program. And then he retired a couple years ago. And then Derek Pearson, a lot of you guys know Annie Pearson, who was the department head whenever I got hired on here in our ag department. Now she's our VP here on main campus. And so her husband, Derek, was the ag teacher here in El Reno, and then he took over at Darlington. And so we got our program, and our goats are 100% geared towards raising show goats. And so kind of a cool thing about our goat herd is we actually, all of our goats that were born the last 2 years have been a product of our flush program, and they've all been embryo babies that we actually have made in our small ruminant repro lab. And so that's one of the unique things that we have on campus at our ag facility, that we've got that small ruminant repro lab, that we not only do a lot with the school's goat herd, but also a lot of producers that are around the area will haul in, utilize our facilities. And it's been a great resource for not only people here or herd here at Redlands, but then also a lot of producers from the area that come in and utilize our program to expand their herd and make their goat herds better. And so the last couple of years, it's been awesome to see the kind of quality that we've been able to crank out. And then we've been marketing those online. And then Derek has several student workers that he has as a part of his program. And so obviously it takes a lot, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort for that, but also it's giving those students a great hands-on experience to learn how to raise livestock, get them ready and market them, and promote them at the online sales and working with different customers. It's been really cool to see that, and another way that our students can get a great hands-on opportunity and kind of build on what they're already doing in the classroom, out of the classroom as well.
Yeah, I feel like that's what makes our ag department a little bit unique, is the opportunity for so much hands-on learning. I don't know. I'm sure there are other schools, especially the bigger four-year universities, but I don't know that there's a ton of community colleges where students early on in their collegiate career can get exposure and experience like that. And something that Scotty Charmison, our current department head for the ag department, talks about, especially within her internship classes, we really want to help our students get exposure to the field that they're interested in. And so those different opportunities are a few of the ways that we try to expose those students to different areas of the livestock industry. So.
Yeah. And I always say at going, one of the benefits at the community college level, especially here at Redlands, where we have smaller class sizes, we've got the access to livestock and the facilities where those students get a little more hands-on than I would say most. And you talked about the four-year universities, most of them are going to have those livestock herds and access to do all that. But as far as your freshman and sophomore year, as you're taking those introductory level classes, you're going to be in there with a ton of kids. And so you're probably not going to get as much hands-on. And so I always say one of the benefits, aside from the involvement that you can have in one of our competitive teams or other organizations that we'll talk about here in just a second, is the smaller class sizes and then a little more hands-on with what we get to do here and what we have access to. So I always say that's just an added benefit that you can find here. And so I think that's another awesome thing that we get to do within our ag department.
Yeah. So while we're on the topic of hands-on experience and learning, I want to talk about our AI certificate that we offer our students. So for those that are past alumni and graduates that have probably majored in animal science, it's very easy for us to build in an AI certificate, which is just another way to get some hands-on experience. And for those that are non-ag listeners, when you think of AI, you probably are thinking of artificial intelligence. When we refer to AI as livestock producers, we're talking about artificial insemination. So will you explain that program and what students can learn from that?
Yeah, absolutely. So embedded within our ag degrees, those students can also pick up a certificate of mastery for AI, artificial insemination. And those students are required to be enrolled in several classes that they will generally already be enrolled in and have taken within our ag degrees. And then Scotty runs our AI seminar, which is a 2-day seminar that she does in the fall and the spring, where those students will have a lot of knowledge-based learning in the classroom, but then also get a lot of hands-on experience, whether it's looking at repro tracks or looking at different things out in the lab, where they get, again, just another awesome thing that we have here within our department that those students can leave with another certificate of mastery there with our AI program.
Yeah. So this can really help to launch students, again, that are looking to, become producers. That's a really valuable skill to be able to do yourself. And to advance your own beef herd. And even on the smaller ruminants side, it's, more common. We focus on the cattle probably more than anything, but there's exposure to all different species and how that works with all the different species. So yeah, that's something that we can build into degrees. And a lot of our students that are majoring in animal science, general ag, typically do go ahead and do it just because it's a great skill to have. Awesome. Okay. So I want to transition now into our student leadership opportunities. We've talked a lot about our competitive teams, our hands-on learning experiences, but I think we should talk about our leadership opportunities. So the first thing that we can discuss a little bit is our Aggie Club. So I'm actually a co-sponsor of Aggie Club. Myself, Meredith, and Scotty Charmison, we all kind of run Aggie Club together. Do you want to talk a little bit about what Aggie Club is?
No, you can talk about it.
Okay, so Aggie Club is really just for any student that's interested in agriculture. You don't have to be an agriculture major to be involved in Aggie Club. We do a lot of fun things throughout the year. We usually start off the year, the first week or so, with a back to school mixer. We've went to the bowling alley the last few years, just so we can get all of our new freshmen, returning sophomores together, and everyone gets to meet each other, and we have a fun time. And so we'll do a few fun things throughout the year like that. We go to Topgolf usually before Christmas break. But then another thing that we like to do is we really like to get involved within the community. So we'll do some community service type things. If that's going to Lord's Harvest, sometimes we'll go to the food bank. So there's a couple of different community service type projects that we try to take on. And then big thing is at the end of the year, we always have our Aggie Club banquet, which is usually the night before graduation, where we get all of our ag department together. We highlight our teams, our ag ambassadors, and wrap up the year together. We have a silent auction as a fundraiser. And so those are some of the different responsibilities that our Aggie Club members have. There's leadership opportunities within Aggie Club to serve as president, vice president, lots of different officer positions. So you can get involved with that. But Aggie Club is a super fun thing to do. I was in Aggie Club when I was a student here, and really, really enjoyed it. The other opportunity that we have is our Ag Ambassadors. And so our Ag Ambassadors, that's a little more of a formal application process. Scotty will usually post that on our Ag Facebook page. So if you aren't following Redlands Agriculture on Facebook, make sure you give us a follow. That's where we post all of our team results and, current happenings and things that we're doing. But Aggie or Ag Ambassadors are our students that help represent our Ag department at different things throughout the year. So we might have a prospective student come and take a tour. Sometimes our Ag Ambassadors will help give that tour. Our Ag Ambassadors might go to different events like district shows and things like that to help, run those. They'll represent the college with our booth, and then they'll go to state FFA convention, talk with FFA members in high school up there. So there's a lot of different ways that our Ag Ambassadors can get involved, and we've got a really big group right now. I think we've got about 40. We had a ton of great applicants last year, and so we've talked about a lot of different opportunities, and a lot of our students are involved in several of those. Although, like, livestock judging is a big time commitment, a lot of our livestock judges are also in Aggie Club, in Ag Ambassadors, and so there is still the option and ability to do multiple things and be involved in all those different areas. So those are just a couple of our student leadership opportunities. You have anything to add about either of those?
Yeah, for sure. And just to touch on just some different things that we have in all of the opportunities that we've got to be involved. And I think I can speak for me and all of our faculty in saying we really like our students to be involved and engaged, not only inside the classroom, but outside the classroom. And we are really excited about all of our students that are on those competitive teams in those leadership programs. And there's a lot of ways that those students can be involved. And I would say as a ag faculty, we are excited to see that. And we really see those students that are more involved, that have more success in the classroom. And then also those are great opportunities to put on scholarship applications, resumes down the road. And so we're trying to build a well-rounded student here at Redlands, and you can be as involved as you want here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And another thing that I'll touch on that we don't probably like formally advertise, but another class or program that I really like for our students to help set them up for success as they move through their collegiate and professional careers, our ag internship class. That's, I believe, required for all of our ag students to complete at some point while they're at Redlands. But that's a class where our students get college credit for some kind of either paid or unpaid position. And so that's another way that we really encourage our students to get exposure in the field that they're interested in. And the great thing is we have so much support in our community and with producers around us that we usually have no trouble finding a spot for our students to intern or have a part-time job. I want to shout out ODAF because we have an exclusive partnership with them where our students can, work with a state, a producer within Oklahoma and help them develop a secure food supply plan. And so that's just one of the many opportunities that our students have within that course, again, to get exposure and experience in the field that they're interested in. So, we love our students to be involved in a lot of different ways, whether it's in the classroom, outside of the classroom. And most of our students are. So,
and we think it's important that those students are looking at different career paths. And if they are set on, hey, this is what I want to do, we'll try to set them up with an internship in that field. And sometimes they think, hey, I don't think this is for me. And so it's important to know that before you finalize your degree plans and finalize your career path, whether you actually like that or not. Some of them absolutely love it. They figure out, hey, I have never heard of this, but I'm going to do an internship with this program, and they can take off and hit the ground running, and they love it and get exposure to a lot of different things that are available.
Mm-hmm. So as we're kind of wrapping up and getting closer to the end, I want to circle back to some bigger picture questions that I want you to share your opinion or your experiences about. So first thing is I want to I want us to talk like we're talking to a student that might be listening who's thinking about coming to Redlands, and answer some questions why they should consider our ag program. They might be looking at a few other colleges, that kind of thing. So we've talked a lot about this, but what do you really feel like makes Redlands special?
I think the biggest thing is we've talked about the involvement, the competitive teams that you can be a part of here. There are so many opportunities within our ag department here at Redlands, but I think the main thing, it always circles back to the people. And I'm pretty biased, but I do think that our faculty within our ag department, it is better than anywhere. And I've seen so much support for our students here with all of our faculty, and our want to see those students succeed, not only at the 2-year level, but we try to set our students up for success if they are going right into the workforce. We've had a lot of students that go right into the workforce and do that and find their career and do an awesome job there. But a lot of them transfer on to the 4-year level and different universities, and we love to see that as well. And so we want to set them up for success here at the 2-year level, but across the board, our faculty and staff here and the support of our students, no matter what they want to do in the future, the support is there. And like I said, I'm biased, but I think better than anywhere else. And that's the main thing where I think Redlands is different from a lot of other colleges that those students could be a part of.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And not only between just our ag faculty, but also our administration on main campus at the highest level. They are so supportive of our ag department and our teams and our students. And so it's great to have that support all the way to the very top. They're always checking in on how we're doing and really supportive of us. And, we're out on the road a lot, and one of our main priorities, especially for our livestock judges, we want them to be good students. We want them to go to class, but we're on the road sometimes, but we still have a lot of support from faculty and staff and admin that maybe aren't directly involved in the ag department. So that's another thing that I feel like really sets Redlands apart. So I want to have you reflect on your personal experience here. Can you share with us like maybe one of the most rewarding experiences that you've had while you've been at Redlands? I know you're going to, what are you on, year 7?
Year 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So can you share something that maybe is like really stands out to you?
Yeah, it's been an awesome journey here. And like I mentioned earlier, I got hired on in the summer of 2019. So if you remember back what the year 2020 had in store for us, it was tough to get going and a first year doing anything. And those of you that are in education, no matter what level it is, that first year there's a lot to take in, a lot to get figured out. And then through my first year, that spring of 2020, the whole world shut down. And so I was having trouble getting everything in a lined up and figuring out what I needed to do even before that happened. And then COVID hit, and then navigating that was a huge hurdle, I think, for everybody. And I'll speak for me as well. And then as we got back going, probably one of the biggest things that I've seen is just that I'm the most proud of is just the growth of our ag department. From the time I got here till now, I think we have done an awesome job with our competitive teams, with our faculty, bringing in great students, and just the growth of our ag program has been exceptional. We've obviously had, great success with the livestock judging team, and they've been doing really, really well over the last several years. And so, that's been great to see. And whenever I first came on, probably my biggest goal was I was dead set. Hey, my sole focus is winning a contest, having success for our program. And while that is still a huge goal of mine, a lot of what I've seen are, students that go out and, get a degree that if they weren't involved in livestock judging, probably wouldn't have stayed in school and stayed committed to that. But they had coaches at the 4-year level that pushed them, that held them accountable. And so that's been awesome to see. And it's been great to see our students have success here, but even in just the last couple years since I've started, some of those students that have been graduates of our program, they are leaders in whatever industry that they're in. And so, yeah, whenever I first came on, it was, hey, I am gung ho. I just want to win judging contests and have success for the program, and that's it. And like I said, well, that's still a huge goal and a focus that we're going to have here. Probably the biggest thing is whenever we see those students move on and transition to the 4-year level, they're leaders at whatever university they choose to attend. And then whenever they go out into the workforce, there are a tremendous amount of our students that have been in our ag program and been a part of our livestock judging team that are really, young leaders in a lot of different industries. So that's absolutely been the most incredible thing to see.
Yeah, we always feel really proud when we see our students that are succeeding and they're doing awesome things after they graduate. If you come to Redlands and you go through the ag department, it doesn't matter how long you've been graduated, you're always going to have support from everyone here at Redlands in the ag department. We're gonna share your stuff on Facebook. We're gonna show up. We'll be your cheerleading section, that's for sure. So, any final words for any students that might be looking at Redlands Ag Department, thinking about coming here? Do you have anything that you wanna share with them as we wrap up?
Yeah, so hopefully as you listen to this, you got to see what all that you can be involved in here as a student, and the benefits that I think are here as a part of our college. I think there are so many opportunities and ways to be involved and ways to set yourself up for success, and how to go about looking at our college and looking at being a part of our program. You can reach out to us within our ag department to set up a tour, or you can go online and set up an official college visit here, and we can get you here and get you on campus and show you everything that we have to offer. And I would encourage students to do that, no matter where they're looking at going. Take a visit, see what all those programs have to offer, find your best fit for you to have success, and then pull the trigger and go all in and go for it.
Yeah, awesome. I think that's great advice. We're always happy to host students who are interested and show them around. And like Spencer said, anywhere that you're considering going, check it all out. Know all your different options, because you'll get a feel of what feels right for you. Well, Spencer, thank you so much for joining us. This was really fun for me to get to highlight our ag department. I'm like you, naturally, I'm biased about our ag department and our people and students, but we truly have a special program here at Redlands. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us again to our audience and our listeners. Make sure to follow us wherever you listen to your podcast, and we'll see you next time. Bye.